Ready? Ready.
What's up, guys? It's PIHCAM with HuddleGG, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Huddle. If you guys are new here and this is your first episode, it's something that we do each week where we answer your guys' questions. So if you have a question you'd like answered in a future video, wherever you're watching this, just make sure you leave that question in the comment section below, and we will do our very best to get to it. If we don't get to it, you can always join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord, and we answer your questions in there as well. So appreciate you being here. Let's dive into this week's episode. And the first question today comes from Junbug, and they ask, how do you switch stick when you're on a blitzing defender? And this is a really good question. For those of you that don't know, switch stick was introduced, I believe, last year into Madden, where you are able to switch off of your player utilizing the right stick to any coverage defender on the field, right? So if we're using this player here in the right of screen, hook curl, and they go to say hike, you can see that we can switch to all these different people by simply just flicking the right stick. Okay, so if I go look at the replay here real quick, you can actually see my user switching and how quickly we can do this. Again, you see that icon under the linebacker, you see it switches here. You see right away, it switches here, switches all the way over here, switches here. So again, that's just by simply flicking the right stick in the direction that I want to switch. Now, the problem that there has been is people, if you are blitzing with your user, or let's say you get caught on a defensive lineman, what you're going to see is when they go to say hike, it's not going to let me switch stick with that right stick anymore. You can see I've been moving that right stick the entire play, and it's going to lock me onto that player because he's no longer considered a coverage defender. Okay, so when you're switch sticking, you have to go from coverage defender to coverage defender. And obviously, if he is blitzing, you cannot. So again, when I see it the most happening to myself is when I get caught on the defensive lineman. But there is a way to counter and actually get back into your normal switch stick. Okay, so what we're going to do here is if we do have this guy blitzing again, all you need to do for the first switch stick, right? So the first time you're looking to switch off of this blitzing defender, use the D-pad instead of the right stick, okay? So what you're gonna see here is even though we have this guy blitzing, if they go to say hike and we push the D-pad, it now gets us to a coverage guy, and we can now switch stick with our right stick like normal to any other coverage guy on the field, okay? So what you're going to see here, again, this very first switch, I needed to use the D-pad because we were a blitzing defender. But once we get back onto this player, you can now use that right stick just as you did before, and you're able to switch stick down to the different people that you want to be on. So again, just understand that that first switch stick has to be the D-pad, not the right stick. If you are blitzing, like I said, I don't personally blitz my user really at all. But sometimes I will be switching around trying to get my adjustments in. I'll get caught on a player like this. And if I get caught on a defensive lineman, then I'll just switch stick with the D-pad first. And then I'm able to switch stick around with my right stick to get everybody else that I need to on the field. So again, just make sure that that first switch stick is using the D-pad. And then everything from there, you can get to all the other coverage defenders by utilizing the right stick as well. Our next question comes from Dookie, and they ask, is there a cover 4 in 3-3 odd that is not a form of match coverage? This is another really good question, and for those of you that don't understand match coverage, it is important that you're not calling match coverage plays because you can actually hurt yourself a lot more than you're going to help yourself if you're running a defense you don't really understand what the rules are. Now, we do talk about what the match rules are over at HuddleGG. If you ever want to go check those out, we've talked about it for about 4 or 5 years now, where we really break down what the different match rules are. But again, it can get complicated, and it is important to understand not to run it unless you understand what the rules are. Like I said, or you're just going to hurt yourself. But there is going to be one to actually answer the question here in the nickel 3-3 odd, and it's going to be cover 4 drop. And if you're in any formation, this doesn't have to be nickel 3-3 odd. If you have a formation, or sorry, if you have a play that says cover 4 drop, it's not going to be match coverage. Okay, that's going to be a spot drop form of cover 4, where those guys are going to drop exactly to where they need to be in their zones. And I want you to see, you can actually see if a play is match coverage or not in your play art as well before you pick the play. I want you to look at the cover 4 drop there to the left side of the screen. You see that color purple of those flat zones? You see how that's a dark, solid color? But then if you look at the 2 plays on the right, the Sam Mike 3 press and the cover 6 Willie, those flat defenders are more of an opaque, lighter color, pinkish purple. Again, the one in the middle there, it's going to be in the middle ground in terms of how dark the coloring is. That's going to be a seam flat, and then the one on the right, which you're going to see with more of your cover 4 defenses, is going to be a quarter flat. With that cover 6 Willie. So again, you can tell before you pick the play if that play is going to be match coverage. Again, just look at the flat defenders. Are those flat defenders an opaque, almost see-through color and a lighter color? Yes? Okay, that's going to be match. If not, and it's that more dark color, it's going to be more of a spot drop. And you can see the same thing here with cover 3 cloud on the left. So you see how those are darker colors with the right zone there with that cloud flat as well as the curl flat to the left side of that play. And then if you just keep looking through these, you're going to start to see right there on the left, cover 3 match. Those are lighter colors, so that's going to be a match form. Obviously, the name gives it away on that one. But cover 4 palms there, again, that's a cover 4 style defense. But you see those flat defenders are more of that opaque see-through pinkish color. So again, that's telling us that's a match coverage. Again, if you are looking for a cover 4 in 3-3 odd that's not match, you just want to go with cover 4 drop. Our next question today comes from Match Zone Box, and they ask, how do you block the Texas 4-man with sending 5 out? Now, this is a question that we've been getting a lot of, and unfortunately, there's not really a super consistent way in blocking the Texas 4-man stunt with only our 5 offensive linemen. Some things that people will do is they'll use play action plays, and the play action blocking can sometimes make it a little bit more difficult for that stunt to come in. So that's definitely something you can try if you are looking to use a play action play as your base, and then not audibling, but hot routing out of that play, because you do want to keep the blocking on that. But we'll show you the best way to block this in general using a running back. But what you're going to see here is with the Texas 4-man, again, it's just this double stunt to each side where they're going to spread the line most of the time, user this guy over the center. And essentially, whichever way our center goes, the pressure is going to come in the opposite way. Okay, so if we say hike here, you see the center goes to the right, and that time our guard actually stepped up and got the block, which again will happen at times with us doing absolutely nothing. So understand that that is a possibility. But if we keep running this, you're going to see how they're going to be able to get that guy in. And again, it's going to be something that's very, very frustrating because they're only sending 4, we're blocking 5, and they're just not going to pick it up super well. You can see here the center goes to the right. That means it's 2-on-2 back to the left. You're going to get this double team most of the time with the guard and the tackle, which leaves that edge defender to come around and get that easy sack on the quarterback there in the backfield. So again, that's what they're doing with the Texas 4-man. Like I said, if you just do nothing with your blocking, there will be times where it doesn't come in. It's not going to come in 100% of the time, but I'd say probably 80 to 85% of the time, if you're not doing anything with your blocking, you're going to get a free rusher after your quarterback, and it's going to be a long day if you're trying to actually get the ball down the field if you're not able to pick this up. So what we want to do, again, especially in key situations, if you want to try to block this with 5 or use play action blocking, do different things, you definitely can. But in key situations, I highly recommend using that running back to really ensure that we can pick this up the way that we want to. Now, so what you're going to see is when they spread the line there and they set this up, we're going to have our running back blocking. And HN is actually one of the worst blockers that I've used this year personally, but I'm going to show you that he actually does a pretty good job to give us enough time to make a read down the field. Again, if you have better blockers in there, Bajan Robinson was one of the better blockers that I've had. He really stood his ground well. But what you're going to see is we're going to untarget the middle defender there, which is typically the user first. Okay, so you're going to untarget that guy right over the center. We're then going to double team the D tackle on the running back side. Okay, now you do need to make sure that the running back is blocking. Okay, but you can see here, this is what our play art should look like, where the center is going to go heavy away from the running back side. The right guard, right tackle, or the guard and tackle on the running back side are going to double team the D tackle. And then our running back is responsible for the edge rusher to his side of the field. Okay, so this is what the blocking play art should look like for you. And then from there, we're just going to say hike, and you're going to see he's going to step up and he's going to make that block. And a lot of the times, if he gets that cut block, you're going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. Okay, you are still at the mercy of getting sheds. Again, if they get sheds, you can't really do a ton about that. But you can see how the left side of the field here, they do a really good job picking up this stunt. Sometimes this D tackle get an inside leverage on the offensive tackle, and he'll be able to get some decent pressure. But you can see how we get a hat on a hat here. We actually get these guys both on the guy coming back inside with the stunt. But our running back steps up right into this gap, and he targets the guy perfectly from the start of the play. And he's going to get, again, like I said, most of the time he's going to get a cut block here, and that's going to give us the time we need to throw the ball and make our reads. Now, obviously, I'm not setting up any route combination right now. I'm just running a random play. So again, make sure you are setting up the appropriate route combination, whether your opponent's running man or zone on the back end. What you're going to see, again, if we just block that running back, we're going to untarget the user, which again is typically the guy directly over the center. And then we're going to double team the D tackle on the running back side. Now, if you see these blue lines, or sometimes you see the center still going right or something like that, you can always half slide or full slide away from the running back as well to get this play art here that we showed on the first rep. Okay, you still can get it to block the other way, but I just like it to look just like this so I can ensure they're going to block the way that I want them to block. Okay, so then again, when we go to say hike, you're gonna see he's gonna step up, he's gonna block that guy, and you're gonna see that he actually does another great job there. Like I said, he's been one of the worst blockers that I've had at running back, but you can see he does a pretty good job on his own here. Again, we're telling him to block that guy stunting to the inside, but you can see our line takes care of the left. Our running back does a great job here, whether he's just trying to hold the block or he's gonna try to cut stick that guy. And we're able to get this guy double teamed as well. So again, this is really, really nice blocking. Again, we're trying to get a hat on a hat. We do a great job here, and this would give us plenty of enough time to make our reads down the field. Whether we're trying to attack shallow, intermediate, or deep, you're gonna have enough time to get the ball out to your receivers and move the ball down the field. Our last question today comes from TJR, and they ask, how do you defend RPOs and read options? Now, this is a fairly broad question and not one that I can answer entirely in a video like this, just because of the different types of RPOs you're going to face, the different types of read options even that are in this game. But there is a very specific type of read option or type of RPO that's giving you the most fits. Definitely let us know in the comments below, and we can touch on this again in another video. But I will share what my settings are to defend most RPOs and most read options and what I'm looking to do defensively. So what we're going to do first is on the defensive side of the ball, we do want to go to our coaching adjustments, and we want to go down to option read key first, and we're going to set this to conservative. Now, what we're doing with this is we are having our read key defender, which is the defender who the quarterback is making his decision based upon, right? If he crashes down, he pulls and keeps. If he stands up, he's going to hand it to the running back. We want that read defender to focus on the quarterback. So that then allows the other players on our defense to solely look at that running back. Okay, we don't want to worry about that quarterback keeping it and going around the edge. So we're just going to set the read key to conservative to have that edge defender play that quarterback time and time again. The same thing here for RPO read key for the same exact reason, okay? This is the same setting just for an RPO read play rather than a traditional option or a traditional read option. So again, we just want that read key defender to focus on the quarterback. Now, on the RPO pass key, this is a little bit different because this is the pass key defender on the play. And we're just having this set to conservative, so he'll focus on the route that they're trying to throw to, whether it's a bubble, a quick little slant, smoke screen, a quick little out, whatever it may be. That pass coverage defender or that pass key defender, we want him to focus on the route on the play and not really jump his run gap, because if he jumps the run gap, that allows that route to be wide open, and we don't want that to be the case. So we want all of these to conservative. Now, option pitch key is really if they're running a triple option or a power option type play where there's a pitch involved. I do personally like to set this to aggressive because I actually want them to attack the pitch man. Personally, it's a little bit different mentality than the other ones we just talked about. You're not going to face these style of option plays that often, so you could honestly leave this at balance if you wanted. I personally set it to aggressive just in case I face it, but like I said, this is going to be something that you rarely see in the game. But from there, that's all we really need to do, and this is going to give us a good base defense with our adjustments. So now, again, we can focus on the running back. So if they are running a read option here, and we have, let's get this guy in the box here, obviously we want to make sure we have the numbers, but what you're going to see is the read key defender is that guy with the flame icon above his head to the left side of the field there, okay? So what you're gonna see is because of our settings, when they say hike, he's gonna stand up and he's gonna make it so that quarterback cannot keep it and go to the left. So that tells us as the user, we know they're gonna have to hand it off, and we're just gonna rally to the ball carrier, okay? So this player right here, he is going to shuffle and stand up. Again, he's waiting for the quarterback. So if the quarterback tries to keep it, we don't have to do anything. This defender right here is going to take care of it for us. So we can really put all of our focus on defending the running back on this play and just pursuing to that ball carrier there. So again, if they do try to keep it with their quarterback, I'll show you what it would look like here. So again, if they for some reason make the bad read with their quarterback and they try to keep this ball, you're going to see they're running right into our defender who we have out there placed perfectly for that exact reason. Okay, so that's the reason why we have that on conservative. Just makes it a little bit easier on our user where we don't have to worry as the quarterback keeping it. Is he handing it off to the running back? Doesn't really matter. We know we have a defender to take care of that quarterback. We can now just put all of our focus on that running back. Again, this is what I'm doing for general read options or RPOs. If you have a specific RPO or read option you want us to touch on, just make sure you leave that in the comments and we'll definitely go over how we would defend that specific play as well. And if you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord.